Hey my friends, this is Nick Logan, marketingmasters.tv, marketing and mindset for the internet entrepreneur. And in the last video we were talking about an introduction to how to avoid alienating 80% of your clients, 80% of your customers, 80% of your potential business partners. The golden rule states, and we're all familiar with it, states that treat others the way you want to be treated. Now it sounds good, and it's been a concept for several thousand years, but we need to move beyond that. The golden rule actually talks about basic needs of certain people, and people need to feel important. People need to feel that they're contributing. People need to feel that they're leaving a legacy. Well, we're going to move beyond that. Those are all the commonalities, but now what are some of the differences? When you find a personality type that's very similar to you, it's very easy to get along with them. But what about those different personality types that you don't necessarily agree with, or you look at things a little bit differently? Well, we're going to teach you how to relate to those types of different people. It's not a judgment call. It's not a one is right and one is wrong, and it's not how to manipulate people. This is just how to kind of see and understand the different words that people are using to kind of demonstrate that type of person that they are. And when you do that, you're going to find that you're going to relate to 100% of the people versus maybe 20% of the people. Now, how that works is we're going to talk very specifically in this video in an introduction to the platinum rule. Some people call it the rainbow rule. Jared Clark calls it the rainbow rule. Rainbow rule is more what I'm going to be referencing as far as the colors and different personality types. But what that occurs is we're going to talk about, are you a direct person? Or are you an indirect person? Are you an open person, or are you more self-contained? And so pay attention to this next portion here, is because we're going to kind of figure out what personality type you are, also maybe what personality type your spouse or your loved ones are, but really how to figure out how to relate to those different types of personalities. Okay, so the indirect people versus direct. These are the characteristics of different indirect people. Indirect people adapt to risk and change more cautiously and more slowly. Direct people adapt to risk and change quickly and very decisively. So on this side is the direct and the indirect. So we're kind of comparing. Infrequently contribute to the conversation is the indirect. Direct people jump into that conversation. They share their opinion freely. Indirect. Not as many gestures. When they're talking, they're not gesturing as much, and just the opposite with the direct people. They're more animated with their gestures. More patient and more cooperative are the indirect people. And just the opposite, they're less patient, less cooperative. They don't have time. They don't have time for that. So indirect people are less confrontational, and as more direct people are more confrontational. Indirect have the gentle handshake, direct have the firm handshake. Indirect people tend to qualify their statements. In other words, according to my sources or according to so-and-so, instead of stating their opinion directly like a direct person. A direct person is just going to tell it like it is. This is what it is, and that's all there is to it. So that's the different qualifications. And what we need to do is figure out, out of all of those, which side do you fall on? If you do that, indirect or direct, I tend to fall on this side pretty heavily. So go ahead and put an X on whichever side that you fall into, and then we'll follow up with the next step and figure out how we can kind of compare that, figure out what kind of personality type we are, and go from there.